Ever driven home on a route you take daily, pulled into your driveway, and suddenly realized you don't remember the trip? Or maybe you've unlocked your phone to check a quick message, and 10 minutes later you find yourself deep in a social media feed without ever consciously deciding to open the app. These moments happen because our brains are constantly looking for ways to save energy. When we repeat an action enough times, the brain takes that sequence and quietly moves it into a background program. This flowchart shows how scientists have mapped out those background programs. By looking at this sequence, we can see the step-by-step roadmap for how a brand new behavior becomes automatic. Decoding these hidden scripts allows us to see exactly where our daily actions are coming from. Think of the brain as an organ that requires a massive amount of fuel to run. To keep plenty of energy available for hard decisions, it tries to offload repetitive tasks as often as possible. When you first learned to tie your shoes, it took your full attention. Now you can tie them while holding a conversation and thinking about your grocery list at the same time. Once a behavior is repeated enough, your brain bundles those steps together and stores them as a single, smooth, continuous loop. But the system has no internal filter. Your brain executes these saved files with the same efficiency, whether the end result is a healthy snack or a pack of cigarettes. Because the goal is efficiency rather than health, your brain creates these habits without judging if they are actually good for you. Every one of these automatic programs needs a specific starting signal to begin running. This diagram illustrates what researchers call an anchor. It is an existing part of your routine that acts as the starting button for the next behavior. These triggers are everywhere. It could be a morning alarm, passing by a specific bakery on your way home, or even a feeling of stress at your desk. Over time, as soon as your brain detects that specific signal, it begins to expect the behavior that usually follows. This anticipation is why certain habits start to feel like an automatic reflex. The trigger is the invisible starting line that tells your brain to stop thinking and go into autopilot. Once that trigger is pulled, it kicks off a chain reaction made of two distinct parts, an action and a payoff. The first part is the routine, the actual behavior you perform, like scrolling through a phone or eating a donut. The second part is the reward. This is the sugar rush or the moment of relief that follows. This payoff acts as the brain's way of measuring if the loop is worth repeating. If the reward is consistent, the link between the trigger and the action gets stronger. Eventually, they become physically wired together in the brain, turning the sequence into a permanent file. The routine is what you do, but the reward is why your brain remembers to do it again the next time. When we try to change a habit, we usually try to delete it through willpower alone. But because the brain has physically stored that file, it's very difficult to simply erase. The key is to rewrite the loop instead of deleting it. You keep the same trigger and the same reward, but you swap out the action in the middle. This chart shows how to plan that swap. By coming up with a whole list of possible choices, you can identify exactly what you could do instead of the old habit the next time that trigger happens. Every time you practice this new action and celebrate the win, your brain slowly redirects its energy. Over time, it builds a new, healthier path that becomes just as automatic as the old one. Permanent change comes from maintaining your existing triggers and rewards while inserting a positive new action between them. To recap, your brain creates background programs to save energy. Triggers start the program. Rewards lock the file into memory. And you can change any loop by swapping the routine in the middle. By decoding these loops, you can stop reacting to your brain's old background programs and start intentionally designing new ones. Thanks for watching.